it became a labor of love for the office to dive into this.
House Minority Leader Mike Chippendale and his staff did a deep dive into the history of Republican service in the House of Representatives. A handcrafted banner hanging in the minority office bears the name of GOP representatives dating back to the 1800s.
The project really just blossomed through the process because we learned through that exploration of history just how deep it ran. You know, the Republican Party, as everyone knows, was founded in 1854, and that's when it started in the state of Rhode Island as well. So from that point in history, we found so many unique and frankly amazing stories of public servants.
Organizers of the timeline thought they could come here to the state library for that list of Republicans who have served. Unfortunately, that was not the case. State librarians instead steered them to a bunch of journals dating back to the late 1800s. As you can see, a little dusty, a little tattered, but full of relevant information.
If you look at the banner behind us, my father's name is on the banner. And I said, what is that?
Christopher Bonanno, a Cranston City Councilor, was just a young boy when his father served his one term in the House.
I remember toting around with him, you know, constantly, playing with my little Matchbox car, my little Hot Wheels car on the governor's chair.
Discovering the timeline caused Bonanno to look deeper into his dad's political past.
I saw so many newspaper ads, you know, and people still do that, but it's not as prevalent as it was. I happened to pick up my father's pamphlet, and I picked up mine. And, you know, just the difference is his was like on a piece of copy paper, folded in thirds, and mine, of course, you know, full color and all that stuff, you know, with graphics and things of that nature. So you see how the technology's morphed.
Speaking of technology, the Republican timeline has gone high-tech. All of the information is now online.
They employed some tools, technological tools, in the development of the website that makes it an interactive tool. So you can dig down deeply into one particular person or several people, however you want to do it, and slide through this simple to use timeline, and it sucks you into the learning through this wonderful interface with you. I found it to be simple to use, extremely educational, entertaining.
In total, 869 individuals are highlighted in this interactive online resource.
The timeline was debuted in April of 2023. With a click of a mouse, one can discover when a person served and other key information.
The vast majority of folks on that list, which, by the way, include my great-grandfather, Representative John J. Gregory from East Providence, whose seat I then held. We're a diverse family. We have Republicans and Democrats.
We saw that flip-flop of the majority Republicans going over to a majority Democrat in the later years. So their history deserves to be shared as well, and I'm hopeful that the Secretary of State will, at some point, develop a full timeline of the entire legislature so that we can, individually throughout Rhode Island, look for those ties that we have.
The digital timeline allows other relics and prize photos to be uploaded. Bonanno was able to offer photos of his dad, making his connection even stronger.
I think growing up in it, it sort of gives you a stronger taste, whether you like it or not. At least you know what you're in for, and that probably draws some people closer to it.
The more information we have and the more textiles we have, it just brings that person to life.
Sue Stenhouse had stumbled upon a photo of Malin Van Horn, the first person of color elected to the Rhode Island House of Representatives. She wanted to learn more. Where was he from? Why did he run? Finding these answers ignited the idea of the timeline.
I just believe in celebrating people. When people are put into a box, you're not really getting to know what was the energy behind that person. What were the problems they were facing that brought them to come to here, or maybe to even sponsor a certain piece of legislation. And those are the stories.
A family story came to light when Emily Martineau, a House employee, saw a familiar name.
Working here, you know it's a historic building. I mean, we're surrounded by it every day. And so I've thought about all of the people who served here before we were here. So it was such a wonderful surprise. My great-great-grandfather, Jean-Baptiste Arthur Savard, also known as John. 1909 to 1910, he served 1 term.
Not surprised that someone in our family would be involved in politics. I've always felt that it runs in our veins.
Peter Martineau, Emily's dad, also dabbled in politics, serving on the Blackstone Board of Selectmen for 4 years.
With me, it gave me the ability, or you have the ability, to make change for people who are less fortunate than you.
Martineau often shadowed her dad at meetings, captured here in this precious photo. Today, her role in the legislature has her continuing the legacy of her family's public service.
It reaffirmed to me that it was in our blood.
I love history and I love our family.
Rosemary Beauchemont knew her great-grandfather to be a news publisher in Woonsocket and even involved in local theater, but never knew he was a lawmaker.
I was totally impressed.
This Republican timeline may lead to an inclusive database of all elected officials in Rhode Island's history and serve as yet another tool for connecting families.
I love when my family has parties. I love hanging out with them. So I think researching our history just kind of goes hand in hand with that. Like, these are the people who made us where we are today.
For Legislative Insight, I'm Margie O'Brien reporting.